Welcome to another episode of the Muscle Hustle Podcast. I'm your girl, Cokes. Make sure to subscribe at the Muscle Hustle Podcast on all social media platforms. We're talking Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, you name it, we are on it. Also, click the link below on YouTube. Appreciate all y'all for subscribing at the Muscle Hustle Podcast. Again, I'm your girl, Cokes. And right next to me, you got the singer-songwriter, Mr. Jack Freeman. Hey.
What up, Coco? Is that what they call you? Cokes on here? They call you Cokes on here?
My friends call me Cokes or Co.
Got you.
But yeah, you're my friend, so you can call me Cokes.
All right, Cokes. I like Coco better.
I'm sorry, I didn't. I kind of dropped the ball.
Why you dropped the ball?
Jack over here requested 5 champagne bottles.
6. I ordered 6 champagne bottles. I needed a couple of midget waitresses to
with the streamers too. I
We're
won't go
doing the
be able to
lights
get
now. We doing the lights.
No more streamers, because you know my hair is flammable.
Yeah, we don't need that. We do the lights, and then just.
He ain't asked for no gummy bears, no nothing. He asked for bottles of baby oil. 6 of them.
Look, you a bodybuilder. Y'all be baby oiling.
No, we don't. I use Pam.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So I never competed. So I thought that y'all were using baby oil.
Nah.
You using cooking oil.
I use cooking oil. I use coconut oil, Pam, like whatever.
Coconut oil works.
Yeah.
So when you do your show, you get on stage, you in Pam.
Yeah. It's easier to put on the spray.
You just spray it on.
Yeah.
But do you tan though? Because you dark.
I do tan.
What do you?
I be all mahogany and whatnot. Say what?
You already mahogany.
I know, but though that tan just really brightens up my features.
Okay, I'm with it. So does everybody use Pam?
No. They also have like glaze and stuff like that. That's already in like bottles or whatnot. I don't know what their ingredients in it, but it's some type of oil. But yeah, it's definitely not baby oil.
Okay, so that
will actually strip the tan.
I actually use, well, first of all, baby oil strips everything.
Okay.
Baby oil strips.
I'm actually allergic.
But I'm allergic. Baby oil is terrible. Like baby oil is first of all, baby oil. Anytime I've ever put it on, I got a rash.
So I'm just wondering, 1,000 of them Jones being utilized. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of motherfuckers that was breaking out.
That's such a wild.
When you saw that, what did you think? I'm like,
okay,
I know social media had I know they didn't take no time in making these damn parodies about this damn baby oil.
So due to my relationships in the industry, I'm not that far out of proximity, considering who I'm connected to to Puff specifically.
Okay.
Right? I've never met Puff. But it's a compelling story to us because everybody that I know that I consider an OG in the industry knows Puff.
Right.
And they have a Puff story. And it's not always this, but it's always just like, yo, Puff did this, Puff, and like I said, it's not always negative. It's not always, it's always, a lot of it is
be on some bonkers type shit.
But yeah, some of it just be wild because, sometimes it's just rich nigga shit.
Yeah.
It's not even just like negative or like he did this to me or he did that. It's just like wild rich nigga shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And so
this kind of low key fits the MO of wild rich nigga shit. In a sense.
Yeah, it kind of depends.
It's a wild factor.
It kind of depends because some people that are very, very wealthy, a lot of the times it isn't just their sexual appetite that is the problem. It's a control, access, and power thing that they have.
To the point where now they're like pushing it as almost like a RICO charge.
Yeah, like I have to have this because I just want it.
And
I can get it because I can afford it.
Right.
And then when you do it, you have to have people below you that carry out these things. So like the small idea of it, the small, minuscule thing of it is, if I'm a celebrity or I'm just well known in the club and everybody like me in Houston, and I'm at the club and I'm in a section and I got my homies and I say, yo, get that girl from me. Just go tell her I want to holler at her. That's like I ain't got to move. People just move for me.
Move for you, right.
But then it becomes yo, that girl over there in the corner at such and such, go get her and go get her and go get her. Put them all in a car. We're going to go over here and we're going to do whatever the hell.
But then that's still willingness, you know what I'm saying, for them on their part. But the argument there is more so, okay, behind closed doors, consent is no longer consent. And then it becomes a situation where it's just like,
and that's where we have the issue.
Yeah.
The issue is people are like, yo, people are reducing it to him being a freak.
Right. And they're like, well, there's so many freaks out there. Why is it
I'm like, and I'm like, yeah, but you got to understand that, like, you could be all the freaks you want to be as long as everyone is saying yes.
That part.
The moment somebody says no,
or getting their ass stomped in the middle of the damn hallway on camera, then that's a problem.
That's what I told my nephew on the way to college. I said, yo, you're a handsome kid, you're talented, you have everything going for you. There are going to be things that you see at college that you've never seen before. You're going to be at parties with people drinking this and drinking that, and there's going to be times where you hear stories about there's a lot of guys in that room and there's like 2 girls. Stay away from them rooms,
Get the
bro.
fuck up out them rooms.
And it doesn't matter who's saying yes and run, bro. Run. Because I did it. I played football. Like, I know I was a football player and I was an artist. And I know what these parties look like a lot of times. I know what these frat parties look like in college. I know. And I was never into it because I was just like, first of all, it's too many men in here, bro. Like, why is there so many guys? Why are there so many guys around one girl? That never felt right to me.
Yeah.
It never felt right to me because I have a sister as well, and because I also have a niece now. Like, I've got 2 nieces. Like, it never felt right. And it just seems like, and I'm not going to say, like, your kinks are your kinks, right? If you like being in a room with other men and there's an orgy going on and that's just your thing, as long as everyone is saying yes and consenting,
that's it.
Then fine.
Do you?
Yeah. Don't invite me because I'm not trying to be there.
Oh.
If I'm there, I'm in the other room playing video games or something. Like please. Like,
that's what what's his name was saying? Marlon. You know what I'm saying? On Shay Shay. He was like, yo, real talk, like, what, they started doing this shit like what, 3:32? Because I was there till 3:30 in the morning. I ain't seen none of that, John.
Yeah.
But they probably waited till bored ass Marlon left and was like, okay.
Because essentially that's what's happening. There's a lot of people there. When people say I left early, they're not. A lot of them aren't lying to you. Yeah. Because 2:00 is early at these parties.
Real talk. Yeah.
2:00 is early at these parties. We talking about people that are on drugs that keep you up all night. Niggas ain't slept in 3 days. Like, they're on drugs that are, you know what I'm saying? It's on some, like, I've been at a strip club till 4 or 5 in the
6
morning.
in the morning.
And niggas ain't want to go home. Like, like I wanted to go home.
And now you're talking major cities too. You're talking New York. You're talking
Atlanta. We're talking LA, Miami. Yeah. So. And you know, celebrities live in a bubble. And it's a small community. And that bubble makes for a lot of crazy things. It's like the bodybuilder community. There's some things that probably go on in the bodybuilder community that you're just like, but it's like, and it's a nationwide. I went to a bodybuilder gym with a bunch of white guys. White folks. I used to go to Iron City in Cyprus.
Okay.
And that was when it was an old ownership or whatever. And even that, it was just like the world is too small. Like, everybody knows each other. even if you don't live in Houston, you live in San Antonio, you live in Louisiana, whatever, y'all see each other at these shows all
And
the
they're
time.
just like, yeah, what's up? Yeah.
And it's just that, like, these are places where it can be a positive thing as well, like with it being so small. Like you go to the BET Awards, it was my first BET Awards this year, and then you see all of these people that probably haven't seen each other in a while, or, yo, this is a place where everybody can celebrate their accomplishments throughout the year that they've happened. The Grammys are the same way. You know what I'm saying? It's just that other underlying part of it, like there's always another room. That's the part that gets to where we end up where.
So FYI, right? We went straight into the bag, but I'm going to actually have him introduce himself for those that don't know. Go ahead and let them know who you is.
Oh, man, I'm Jack Freeman, singer-songwriter.
Talk your shit.
Your favorite rapper's favorite singer.
Okay.
I am an R&B heartthrob is what I was told.
That's exactly what it is. Do-wop, diddy-dee.
Do-wop, do it again?
Do-wop, diddy-dee.
I'm going to use that. Do-wop, diddy-dee. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'm geeked.
Are you?
I appreciate you coming.
I'm geeked too. I think it's cognac, probably.
We just started.
Okay.
But we haven't done yet.
Yeah. It's true. That's true. Fact.
Tell us a little bit about your journey, because, okay, you already started. I know you went to PV.
Yes.
Kind of gave us a little insight on there. But you are actually born and raised in Houston.
Yep.
Okay.
Born and raised in Houston, North Side.
Okay.
Yeah.
You had to deal with that back and forth with the North Side versus South Side.
That's been if you're from Houston, the conversation is always North Side, South Side. And then as you move out, it's always Houston, Dallas.
Okay.
So, and then depending on what you do, it's then Texas, Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
So
even though Louisiana is in Texas right now.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, so I grew up on the North Side. I never lived on the South Side, ever. Thank God.
So what would be considered North Side?
So
you don't have to school me because I'm still confused.
I was Northwest, so okay. I was in Inwood. Inwood it borders Acres Home.
Now, is Acres Home the Heights or nah?
No.
Okay.
No. Acres Homes is Acres Homes.
Okay.
So you would probably hit Studewood before you hit Acres Home. Yeah, you would hit Studewood before you hit Acres Home. Studewood is where Booker T. Washington is.
I bring my map, but okay, go
so
ahead.
Booker T, that's Studewood. Acres Homes, where I lived, it was like 3 districts kind of like bordering each other. So I lived in Inwood, I lived on the side of West Gulf Bank. If you're from the North Side, you know West Gulf Bank. West Gulf Bank, I lived on the side of West Gulf Bank where we had to go to Eisenhower High School.
Okay.
But I actually moved. My brother and sister moved. I mean, my brother and sister went to Eisenhower. When we moved, I moved to Cypress and I went to South Falls.
Okay.
But I lived on the side where if you lived on this side of Gulf Bank, you went to Eisenhower. If you lived directly across Gulf Bank, you had to go to Klein Forest.
It was like that. Okay.
Yeah. And that's a completely different school district.
Zoning and all. Okay.
Yeah. Now, if you lived in Acres Homes, some of you went to Eisenhower, some of you went to Aldine, though.
By choice or by
It was
building?
the zoning. It was the way they zoned it.
Okay.
And then little parts of Acres Home, you got Wall Trip. Yes, that's HISD.
Okay, John.
Booker T. And then there might have been a couple of Scarborough kids. So which one? Carver was Aldine, yeah. So I would have, I grew up in the magnet program in Aldine at first.
Elaborate that. What's a magnet program?
So the magnet program is where they give advanced classes for gifted students.
Okay, almost
so,
like AP. Or,
yeah,
okay, or
almost,
IB,
yeah,
IB
almost.
students.
But
Okay.
it's like they do concentrations. So I went to a math, science, and fine arts magnet. So it had everything else, but the concentration was math, science, and fine arts.
Okay.
But another one might have been like an engineering magnet,
Gotcha.
or, things like that. So I was a black kid amongst other gifted black kids.
Oh, okay.
But
That's
I was
a different dynamic, but okay.
Yes, but I was also very good at football. I was very good.
Position.
Wide receiver. Well, so growing up, I was a quarterback.
Okay.
I got to 7th grade. They wanted me to play running back because he wanted his best athlete to play running back. And he wanted his second best athlete to play.
His best athlete to play running back.
That's what he told me. I wanted to play quarterback. He said, I want my best athlete to play running back. I want my second best athlete to play quarterback. Well, first week, quarterback sprains his ankle. I go to quarterback. He never
moved you since.
Never moved me. I move to Cyprus. I want to play quarterback again. They move me to running back. I'm like,
okay,
fine, whatever. I get to freshman year in high school. I'm at running back. Halfway through the season, I got moved to varsity as a freshman. I play wide receiver and never touched running back or quarterback ever again.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I went all the way up through the college level, through the college ranks. I played.
So you played in PV as well?
No, I went to University of Texas El Paso on a football scholarship.
Okay.
So that was that's where I played.
That's like far.
Yeah. It's, for those that don't understand Texas, Houston is here. Well, if you're looking at us this way, Houston is down here, southeast Texas. El Paso's here, west Texas. That's a 12-hour drive.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's just as bad as like South Africa.
Yeah. It's 12 hours and...
But El Paso is just as big too, because there's parts of El Paso that's close to New Mexico.
Well, El Paso is the farthest west you can go in Texas and still be in Texas.
Gotcha.
So you got the panhandle up here, and then the state comes out like this, and then it trickles down like this. Mm-hmm. Well, right here in this corner is where El Paso is. So there's New Mexico here, and then there's Juarez, Mexico down below.
Okay.
So it is a very different place.
Let's say boring as shit, ain't it?
It can be. It depends on what you're into, though.
Okay.
Because it's a little Mexico kind of. It's a... Juarez is right across the border, but Juarez is the border town. That's the, you don't go to Juarez for your
leisure. Yeah,
for your vacation. You go there to go move some dope.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like it is Juarez. When I was there, Juarez was still really, really hot because El Chapo was still out.
Gotcha. How is that dynamic while you was in school? Little black kid from Houston playing football, good at football. So you starring, but you're in this environment where it's known that you say something we don't like.
Yeah, so it's very different because it's not your typical college experience. It's a commuter school. There's only one set of housing on the campus when I was there. You're in the Chihuahua Desert, so it feels like in Arizona or like New Mexico. Mm-hmm. I think it may have rained twice when I was there.
That's crazy.
I was there 2 years. It rained twice. You have your sets of groups of people who are big fans because there's no protein for 8 to 10 hours. So anything east of El Paso, you're either a Cowboys fan or a Spurs fan or a Rockets fan or or Texans fan or Dallas Mavericks fan. If anything west of that, you got to skip over New Mexico.
And go to like Vegas.
You got to be a Denver Broncos fan, an Arizona Cardinals fan. You know what I mean?
I see what you mean.
Maybe you're a Raiders fan. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, So there's no. We're the pro team. The basketball team is the basketball pro team in the city. The football team is the basketball.
Gotcha.
Is the football pro team. So like the cops knew us. So
there's a sense of pride for the fact that y'all are technically the immediate representation of our.
We were awful though. We were terrible.
For real?
We were not good. not considering where I came from. High school range is just me not losing a lot.
Yeah, frustrated.
Man, it was bad. It just, we had a lot of talent, but I was also at a basketball school to play football.
Ooh.
And it wasn't, and it took years after I left to realize like, yeah, you went to a basketball school.
Yeah,
Jack,
it was
and it probably
inevitable. They put way too much more emphasis on that.
Yeah, University of Texas El Paso is known as the not only the first university to win a Final Four from Texas, but they're the first school in the history of the NCAA to win a Final Four with 5 black starters. So if you've seen Glory Road, that's what it's about. It's about the University of Texas El Paso.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was called Texas Western at the time, but it didn't become University of Texas El Paso till Texas put it in their system. But yeah, so Nate Archibald played there, New York legend.
Did he really?
Yeah, Tim Hardaway played. Yeah, they called his crossover the UTEP two-step, and it's that. You know, we've put out a lot of great track and field guys. We got some NFL guys. We had some NFL guys over the years, but it wasn't really a football school. So, and then you're in the Chihuahua Desert, and again, they're telling us don't go to Juarez because if you go to Juarez,
you might not make it back.
It's just like you just don't want to go to jail in Mexico.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's like it ain't much we can do for you when you go to jail in Mexico. So you have to bribe somebody, or you're gonna have to, and don't get caught up in whatever they got going on over there. Because if you cartel and you're trying to holler at a girl in a bar, and cartel don't really fool with you like that.
That's you.
You know what I mean? And then you have your prison gangs on the other side of things that probably get their dope from the cartels and all that stuff, however that works. And they're all over New Mexico. They're all over West Texas. And they're you know what I'm saying? So you might be in a club and you buy some weed and you bought it from a prison gang member that got it from a cartel member. You know what I'm saying? It's just not
too much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. And then you had your military, because there was an army base there.
Mm-hmm.
We had some run-ins with the army before I got out there. Army guys, they having a pissing contest with the football players. So it's just like it's just not. It was a very odd time. It was a very odd time. So when I left, I moved to Prairie View. I moved back to Houston. Went to Prairie View, which is my dad's alma mater. My sister went there. My brother-in-law went there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my uncle went there. So it was a little bit more comfortable for me, but I also just didn't play ball no more. So
just the love in itself just kind of fell out, or it was just more so the opportunity?
Yeah, at that time, and I think maybe it had something to do with maturity too.
Okay.
It's just like I just wasn't having fun. And
you like that sometimes?
Yeah, and it went from, man, I had a really bad day at school, but I get to go to practice. I get to go play football. It went from that to, damn, I had a terrible day at school and I got to go to football practice. This shit sucks. And when I knew that, I said, man, I'm not going to put the effort into this that I really need to put into it in order to be fully the NFL player that I want to be.
It was that your dream at one point in time, was to actually go in the NFL?
I was going.
Yeah.
Like it was that, or it was going to be the Olympics, or, you know, the pro track ranks. I was going to do either one of those. And when I got to college, I just was like, man, it's just like, it sucks. Like I don't enjoy it. We're moving around like a pro team, but we're not winning, and two, I'm not getting paid.
Okay.
So nowadays with NIL,
it's different. It's speaking differently right now.
Dion, call me up. I got 3 years of eligibility. I just saw a 30-year-old guy leave baseball and go play at Arkansas.
30.
Because he never uses his college eligibility up.
Interesting.
So, Dion, you need a slot. You need a slot receiver. I might even play DB a little bit. I might do that. I'm a little bit bigger than I was back then. Man, look, hit me up, Dion.
What was your major in college?
I went there as a business major.
Okay.
And your boy, after the first semester, wasn't really doing. It wasn't that I wasn't intelligent. Again, I'm a Magnus program. I was 2 years ahead of math and science from everybody in high school, right? I got there and I just wasn't going to class. I just didn't care. It was the first bit of freedom that I had, and I didn't know how to handle it. And I got there and I'm like, so I don't, like, nobody's waking me up for class and I don't necessarily have to go to class. Little did I know, 3 absences mean you probably get dropped from this class, or hey, coaches checking classes because they know niggas like you ain't finna be in class. So, but then I realized I didn't want to take math anymore.
Okay.
And so my dad was an engineer. He's retired now. So like he's a mathematician. That's what he does. He loves math. I liked math. I didn't really care for math.
I see.
But I was a really good writer. So my advisor was like, you should try communication. It's not as much math. You only take one math class and then you can move around. So when I got to Prairie View, I was a comm studies major.
Would you say that that's kind of where it opened, or at least enhance your writing skills to be able to shift into music?
Yeah, a way.
Okay.
In a way.
What was that door like opening for you? Like,
so I was always into music.
Okay.
Always loved music. My dad could sing. My sister could sing. I was just always, for whatever reason, music made me feel things that I couldn't feel anywhere else.
Let's dive into that a little bit. Elaborate a little bit on that.
So, the people ask me if I sang in the choir, and when growing up, I didn't. I was in the children's choir at church. I maybe sang in the children's choir for like a year, maybe. And then I started playing football and I never went back to. So, but football teaches you to be tough, self-sufficient in a lot of ways, hold yourself accountable, tough, fast, strong, tough, a team player, a leader, tough. There is no
getting around that.
Yeah, it's just you're just so you want to sing? Fuck does that have to do with this route I just told you to run? You know what I mean? Like but
I'm sure there's definitely a lot of variables to consider that you've taken from your football experience.
Absolutely. So but I had to, it took me, I'm 35 now. It took me until I was about 32 to realize where they had to intersect.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So.
When you say like midlife crisis?
It was a lot of things. It was a lot of like, what am I doing? Why isn't this working? And one day, I credit this to, it's going to sound crazy, but I credit this to steroids. I'm going to give you a story.
Wait a minute. Okay.
I'm going to give you a story. I had a really bad sinus infection, and my allergies were flaring, and I never had allergies. But the last few years, I developed these allergies, like everyone probably has at this point.
And you were in Houston?
The air is just poison at this point, right? So, one of the things that they prescribed me to make me feel better at the time, because I had a gig I had to do. I was doing the rodeo.
Okay.
They said, we'll take these steroids for the next 10 days.
Gotcha.
And it was prednisone.
Oh, shit.
So my dad has a skin allergy. So my dad, he's like, they gave me prednisone. He's like, yeah. He said, you're going to want to make 3 albums in one day. I said, really? He's like, man. He's like, Jack, remember when I repainted this house? It was prednisone. I said, really? He's like, yeah, and these little tablets. And there was a lot of things going on in my life that I really didn't understand, and I really didn't have a grasp on. And so I started taking this prednisone to get rid of whatever, or to mask whatever, because like I don't recommend anybody do steroids for sicknesses or anything like that, because they don't actually work. They just mask whatever you have going on.
Yeah.
And then when they wear off, everything comes back tenfold. It just sucks.
Feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Or invincible.
Yeah. Boom. So I'm taking them and I'm like, I'm working out every day and I'm like, I can do this. And then my brain just started working in a way that was like, this is an idea. I got this idea. I need to go to the studio and do this tonight. I'm going to be there tonight. I'm going to do this. And I felt like no one could stop me from anything, right? And one day, while I'm in the middle of this dose, I said, you know what your problem, Jack? What your problem is, Jack? Athlete you and artist you are two different people. And they don't need to be that. And I had to flesh it out. And I said, athlete you, well, artist you make music, you put it out, and you hope people like it. And then you shrink yourself in a way to be humble around people that don't do what you do, but always feel like they have to be able to tell you what it is that you do and how well you do it, right? So you have to tiptoe around these people because if you look a certain way, if you do a certain thing, it makes people that don't do what you do uncomfortable. You're a bodybuilder. Mm-hmm. There's women out there that look at your physique and say, well, why you don't look like me? Why she lifting all this weight, blah, blah, blah. Why she, blah, blah, blah. Because they're not comfortable
with their own.
And they're not comfortable with the attention you may get or the life that you lead, the way that you want to do the things.
It's not norm.
It's not norm for them.
Yeah.
So you got to shrink into their norm in order for them to really be palatable, for you to be palatable.
Stifling, though.
It's stifling, right? Athlete me didn't give a shit. Because even in bodybuilding, it's still a matter of opinion sometimes.
Right.
You look at the Mr. Olympia and you're like, oh, well, I thought such and such looked better, but he got second.
Right. That's where the subjectivity comes into play.
Right. Yeah. But if I'm on a track and I run a 46.5 400 and you run a 47.1, I beat you. And there's nothing you can say.
Right.
If I go on the field and the score is 49-0, and I got 49 and you got 0,
yeah,
there's no question.
Scoring is scoring.
So all the talking, if I'm in a boxing ring, we can talk all we want to talk.
Right.
I got to fight you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I have to fight you tomorrow. So I'm literally going to inflict harm on you tomorrow. And you could talk all you want about this. When I beat you, when I knock you out in front of all of these people, you have nothing else you can say to me. And that's when I had to realize, oh, you shouldn't actually really care how these people feel about your music because you made the music that you liked. Mm-hmm. And you know that you know where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. It's kind of like anything else. When you lead with love, how people take it isn't always your fault because you led with love, right? Now, you may have worded it wrong, but you can also go back and say, I worded that the wrong way. I shouldn't have, but my intentions were this.
Your intentions were good, yeah.
Your intentions are good, and I know that I probably made you feel a certain type of way, but I didn't want you to feel that. This is what I wanted you. This is what I was intending on you to feel.
And it's hard because it's like in retrospect, you're looking at folks who are just like, okay, well, you should be a little bit more open-minded to actually receive it differently and not just be guarded to the point that, you know what I mean?
That too, but that's how you make conversations. That's the difference between your romantic conversations with your partner, where it's an argument, as opposed to, look, I didn't mean it that way. This is how I felt it to be. This is how I wanted you to receive it. I hate that you received it that way, but I meant it this way. And then they have to go back and say, okay, I understand what you're saying. And the way you said it the first time, I ain't fuck with.
Right.
But now
that you've broken it down.
Now that you broke it down, you know what I'm saying? So it's always a bounce of human interaction, right? But there's none of that when it comes to music because everything is subjective. Everything is, well, I like Drake. And somebody else is like, well, I don't fucking like Drake.
Yeah.
And then it's an argument over like,
Why don't you?
Why don't you? Or you should like, you know, or...
But I don't.
Yeah, or I like this Beyonce album, but I don't like this Beyonce album. Well, you just don't like Beyonce. And it's like, well, you know what I mean? Like but for me, I had to get out of the way of just like, I don't care. I don't care. And the athlete in me didn't care as much. So when I do things now, I don't consider everyone else's feelings because I know how I meant it. And I know that no matter what I'm going to do, I can't please everybody. So it might be 10 people in this room that all love the music. The 11th person might be like, but I felt kind of, yeah. It's like, okay, well. You know, my bad. It just wasn't for you.
Well.
You know what I mean? So there's an and the other way that it intersects is that what I learned is that artists, I'm not the most disciplined person when it comes to like regiment, right?
Okay.
I get to the gym when I get to the gym. I make music when I make music. But I also know that there is a level of discipline that I have that artists don't have.
Okay.
And because it's free form all the time. It's, I'm not gonna get to the studio till 1 a.m. Or I'm not gonna show up for this interview. Or I'm gonna show up to this interview high out of my fucking mind. Or I'm going to not have the self-control to maybe not take that pill that I never took. Because there's a lot of artists out there that don't have that type of discipline, that regimen type of discipline. A lot of things in my life, lend to that. It lends, like having an engineer for a father in the house and having both parents in the house, right? So like my dad's in his 70s, you know what I'm saying? So like it's that type of discipline. Then there's you wake up and you go to practice every day, or you wake up and you got workouts every day and you got to go class. It's that type of discipline. Yeah. There's people that grow up never having any of that.
Right.
Nobody woke them up to go to school. Nobody made them go do a thing, whether they liked it or not.
Yeah.
There's no discipline in that, for a lot of people. And then for some artists, like, they work better with no discipline. They work better as a free form, just like, I went in the studio, we was up there till 10 o'clock in the morning and we just did it. And it works. But then when it comes down to like, how you take that and channel that and go to the next level.
A respected artist in a sense, especially in an industry that is about discipline.
Yeah, because Beyonce is very disciplined.
I mean,
Kendrick is very disciplined.
There's deadlines. There's certain segments you need to show up for.
Yeah.
There's, you know what I'm saying?
There's a certain level of discipline. Like, I don't listen to her music, but there's a certain level of discipline that Taylor Swift has. I don't know what the discipline, I don't know what she does on her regimen day or whatever, like whatever it is, but there's a discipline there.
Right.
You got to respect that. But you have to have both, I think, to really be as great as you want to be. Because if you don't really want to do the work, you're not gonna ever be good at this shit. Truly, you're not gonna ever get better. At least you'll start off pretty good if you're really good, but you'll never get any better than where you are.
Now, granted, you have family members that obviously sung. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When did you know that I got pipes too? I can sing too. Like,
so I knew when I was really young.
Okay.
But they found out when I was like 8. So like we're on our way home from church, and we're sitting in the back seat, and my dad. That's when my dad used to sing all the time. My dad doesn't really sing now, but he used to sing all the time. And everybody was just in the car, and I'm sitting next to my sister in the back. I'm 8. My sister's like 14, 15 years old. Okay. So like she's singing her little heart out, and everybody gets quiet, and I just start singing. And everybody just kind of like,
wait a minute.
And because nobody really understood. Like, I just thought, when you grow up being able to sing, you just expect everybody to be able to sing.
For real?
Yeah. It's like, oh, you can't?
That's how I felt about dance. That's exactly how I felt about dance.
Yeah, it's
you
like
have 2 left feet.
Yeah, like you can't hear the beat.
Yeah.
So like as a dancer, it's like you don't know where the beat is. Yeah. You don't know, like, all he's telling you to do is this boom, 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 boom. And then you're just like, dude, for me, it's like, you can't hear that?
Yeah. Okay.
You don't hear yourself?
Okay.
But I didn't realize, like, because I didn't know that my mom couldn't sing, really. Like, my mom's not a singer. Right. She's not tone deaf. She sang in the choir. So if you gave her a note, she can hold that note. Yeah. But she's not a singer.
Right. Okay.
But also, she wasn't trying to be no singer. So when I'm around other people, I'm like, I know how to sing. My sister know how to sing. My daddy know how to sing. My mama can hold that note. You can't sing?
Mm-hmm.
That it didn't dawn on me. So like when I did it, I just thought it was just what everybody could do. Thought it was, I just thought it was what everybody could do. So they just looked at me and I was like,
what's up?
And they were like, okay. And they just turned around. Then I went to football practice on Monday and and then I just didn't really do it much. And so I would just do it. I would just sing by myself, and I always used to kind of be shy about it. And because again, football players don't sing. So it's what you doing singing? What's choir?
You prefer singing or writing? Because you is the singer-songwriter.
Well, I sing more than I write.
Okay.
And that's just off of just by default. Like I'm either
But you write your own.
I write my own music. And now I enjoy writing. What I love about writing is that when I have that light bulb moment of, I got it, that's where it's going to go. Because it might take me 20 minutes or it might take me 2 weeks to just really get another verse out or something like that. It just depends if I have a writer's block or something like that.
How often do you get writer's block?
A lot.
Really?
A lot. Yeah.
What do you usually do to kind of like break out of that stifling moment right there?
I kind of let it run its course.
Really?
Yeah. Or I have to pinpoint why I have the writer's block. And if the writer's block is because I'm under some type of stress, then I have to cycle through that stress first. Most people, when they say, "Oh, you going through something? Oh, you better go write. It's gonna be a great song." That shit don't work for me.
Okay.
It shit does not work.
Because I understand, like right now, everybody is definitely a lot more in tune with mental health, especially within our community. Mm-hmm. They're definitely pushing the narrative of being aware of mental health. And men especially as well, and being able to be a lot more vocal about it. And so one of the biggest things that everybody in their face just keep coming out of is like, okay, journal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that. Mm-hmm. That is definitely one way to go about it, but it's not the only thing. Mm-hmm. And so like it doesn't really apply, like when what works for one doesn't work for the next. And so pushing that focus it's a little different, because I notice it's just like, all right, well, yeah, sometimes the words don't come out. The words is there.
Yeah.
I want to get that out.
Mm-hmm.
Journaling just ain't really, because then I'm just writing. I'm skipping pages. You know what I'm saying?
I could see where it is, where it's like, I could see where it could be helpful, where it's like maybe like at that moment in time, this is how I feel. Right now, I hate you. But I'm not going to say it to you. I'm going to just write it down and then go back so that I could, and then maybe sometimes it helps to look back on like how far you've come from this point of grief or this point of stress or just spiraling pretty much. Whatever I'm feeling at the time, like right now, I would rather be on a stage singing my songs. And that would probably make you
feel better.
Yeah. There's times where it's just like, man, I kind of want to just lay here and don't do nothing and be silent. And the reason why I feel that way a lot of times is because I'm an artist and I got to be social a lot of times.
I was about to say phases and having to outpour so much. Isn't it taxing?
Yeah, you give a lot of yourself to people. and
people that are just deserving, or people in general?
Just people in general. It's always a transfer of energy in a room, and I've become really sensitive to that.
I would say, would you consider yourself an empath?
Yeah, I'm starting to feel that way. Like in the last few years, I'm starting to feel that way. And also, I'm the guy that everyone thinks has it all together.
I mean, you're really just you be putting it on. You see how my man's in them. He used to say, you came out on the stage.
Yeah.
Put your shirt up. You just look like shirt off underneath the damn, what is it, a leather coat?
It wasn't a leather. It was a windbreaker suit. But everybody thinks, like, there's the perception of who I am. Like, there's the perception of, oh, he's an artist and he's doing this thing with Brian. He's got to have money. He's got to be have it all figured out here. Things seem to be going well, but it's no different than, the girl that you showed up to work, that woman at your job that put that makeup on that day. She probably went through hell last night. You know what I mean? Whatever her situation is, she probably went through hell last night, and she had to do all of this to put herself together to make herself presentable to everybody else. And I think that's another thing that people don't understand about artists, is that we, artists and athletes, really do have the same amount of bad days as y'all do.
Are you open about telling that? I mean, granted, you're saying that now, stuff like that, but would you consider yourself one of those artists that is open and fearless about saying that to the public? You know what I'm saying? And getting them to understand that, like, we human just like y'all.
I think,
because there's some people who are just like, you ain't gonna see this side of me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't spend a lot of time telling people what I'm going through at the moment, but because of my mind and how it works, I know that other artists are feeling that way about certain things, right? So there's certain things that I don't really subscribe to. So like when you see a celebrity and they're clearly spiraling, they're clearly on a manic episode of some sort. They are clearly saying wild things, and it is either induced by either drugs, mental health, substance abuse, mental health, or both. I don't like playing with that. I don't like playing with all the jokes that you have about this person, because every time it happens, when they die, literally when they die, is when they say, oh, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. They start giving you flowers.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Yeah.
He was a good person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
saying?
He
jumped off a cliff because of you, bro.
Or that stuff, that was the pushing factor right there. That
was the thing. That was her.
Folks be really forgetting the fact that y'all artists, honestly, y'all are human.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, you're in the state of entertainment.
Yeah.
But at the same time, well, when you're not entertaining, guess what? You got to go through your feelings. You got to go through all that stuff that folks is also going through. And that's why I asked you, just like, as far as being relatable, I feel like if people honestly spoke their truth a lot more, not saying that you have to let us in, you know what I'm saying, on a consistent basis, but if you actually kind of gave just a little bit more insight on the fact that you don't have everything together. You know what I'm saying? And it's still a battle, or it's still like, yo, I still be going through my moods. You know what I'm saying? You make yourself show vulnerability.
I will say you have to be careful with it, though. Because everybody's not here for your best
That
interest.
is true. That is true.
So
in real talk, I do sound like a hypocrite saying that.
Because it's a lot of like, you might be expressing your vulnerabilities to your fan base, but there's a lot of people that don't like you.
And you can't tell who's your fan or not.
Your man cheated on you.
They waiting.
You know what I'm saying? You was gay the whole time. That kind of whatever the situation is. There's a look at you, nanny boo boo.
I knew it.
I knew it. You was this, blah blah blah. Oh, you were a drug addict. You were this and that. That's why I'm really. There's a lot of media members in sports and in entertainment that I'm like, yo, you have the exact same problems as the person that you gossiping about, and you're now seeing the consequences of your actions played out. Like all that person, everything that person was going through, you're not going through it on a tenfold. So we have to be even down to like, even we were just talking about Puff just a second ago. Like you can have all the jokes you want for Puff in your head, whatever. But in these lawsuits and in these indictments, there are actual victims whose lives are forever changed
because of it,
by this, by something that he did to that person, or by something that his constituents did to these people.
Right.
There are real life people attached to R. Kelly and what he did to those people.
Yeah.
There are real life young ladies that are forever scarred by the Epsteins of the world and the Weinsteins of the world. There are forever men who are scarred by the things that are happening to them in this entertainment industry. And I think the hypocrisy comes when, we'll be honest, I don't know a woman who doesn't have an assault, a harassment, or a story of that sort. I don't know any women who haven't dealt with that. And the niggas that they serve, that they've dealt with it, that they're the victims, the culprit ain't Puff. Nowhere near. Ain't got the same, ain't nowhere near the tax bracket. They're walking amongst us right now. There are real life, like these women, like you can relate to some of these things. And when I see some women, you know,
pointing the
finger
and stuff like that.
When I see some men pointing that finger and they ain't told, they haven't, and it's your business, but you ain't told nobody that when you were a kid, it happened to you. Or when you were in this situation, it happened to you. So you think a
or
dude,
you partook in something that was slightly similar.
Yeah.
In college.
You
things of that nature, you know what I mean?
You got the jokes and you got the holier than thou, overly righteous.
It's real cute.
It's
to
cute,
folks, when you're able to point at somebody else's shit.
Yeah.
Until the light is shined on you.
It's cute when somebody else died from what they got going on. But when you have a situation that you need people to really take some understanding and give you grace for, you gotta go fund me.
Yeah. Ooh.
You need all of this. So like we gotta be really careful about this shit, because it ain't just as simple as this person did this to that person and that's it, because that victim got a family and that victim got children and parents and cousins and friends and all of these people who have had to like be there to console that person and had to give a lot of themselves to that person. So even if you take that part out and everything that these people are going through, think about your everyday life and how you got into an argument with your significant other and that's stressing you out because y'all have had problems for months and years and years and years and years. Some of these celebrities are having the same situation. Maybe you don't feel bad about them because there's the perception that they have money that they could just throw at the problem.
Right.
That ain't it. You know what I'm saying? When you get rich, you got folks out there trying to sue you for things you didn't do.
Just calling shit out.
Yeah. You stole my song. You
had that before?
It hasn't happened to me, but I know that. So I'm signed to Brian Michael Cox.
Okay.
And I know that for a long time there was a lawsuit filed by a guy who said that Jermaine stole a song from them and put it on Confessions. And so for a long time, like people don't understand this. Like if somebody gets sued for an album saying somebody stole my song, and the case is taken on, and they want to like investigate it and all that kind of stuff, and they want to make sure everybody's money gets froze from that album.
Everybody,
ain't nobody getting paid for that right now. You know what I'm saying? That's like if you work at the gym and I sue Ken for something that happened for something that I think he stole from me at the gym. Maybe he stole my program or something like that.
Yeah.
That would be like the judge saying, okay, no trainers here getting paid until we fix this.
I see.
And so, and that happens more times than not. Like, obviously that guy didn't get anything stolen from him, but he just said it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then there's people suing you for this, and there's family members that think that you got all the money in the world, and they want to ask you for $1,500 because they got a child support situation, or they got a business idea that they want to run by you, or such and such about to get evicted, or they lights getting turned off, and then there's this, and then there's if I'm on a label, the label's telling me I can't do this. I can't be the creative person. There's just so many things that an artist has to deal with, or that a celebrity has to deal with on a day-to-day basis, that maybe you don't care, but these are real life things.
Right.
You know, we thought Robin Williams was the funniest person in the world. He killed himself.
Right. That part.
You know what I mean? Like we see these types of things, and we don't really understand like the ramifications that come from us having to entertain you all the time for nothing. We pay $50 million for a movie, and you pay 10. I pay thousands of dollars on an album, and you pay $10 a month to listen to everything that you want to hear for free.
So run us through like your creative process. So you say that you're currently signed by. That's a independent, like, is that an independent label right now? Yeah,
so me and Brian are in a joint venture. He started a company called Illustrate New Ideas.
Okay.
And I'm the first artist on the company. It's a content company. He wants to do lots of different things. Brian's, obviously, his bread and butter is music. So he's the executive producer of my album. It's called Nina. It's out. You should go check it out. We got more things happening with it. So right now it's independent. May not be the case very soon, but
is that something that you are open to if it's not the case?
Yeah, I'm open to all the conversations.
Right.
I will tell this to artists that are listening: being independent is amazing if you got money. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if you got the you can't barter your way through everything all the time. Some got to get paid for. You got to have some money to like really do this. And it might not be a lot of money, but you got to have something. And for a person that may need $5,000 to get something done, it might as well be $50,000 to a person who has zero.
Okay.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like, I'm open to all the conversations, and I'm open to the fact that like sometimes you gotta do business, and you have to give someone a piece of this in order to, you know what I'm saying? Like most people have seen episodes of Shark Tank. They got to give something up a little bit to get where they trying to get.
But it's also literacy as well too, right? And being educated enough to decipher certain wording that is on paper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or if you know for a fact that maybe you have tunnel vision after reading one line, then you have that support system to be able to read for you, and that you're trusting enough.
Lawyers, man. Lawyers.
You got that in the pocket too?
I got that. Lawyers, man. Like,
take us through your team. Like what exactly as an artist should you have right off the break, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that you don't get taken advantage of in this damn industry? Because again, it's not just singers, it's not just songwriters, it's not just actors, it's the artistry as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Too many different focal points and dynamics that are involved.
Yeah.
But the common denominator is trying not to be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how do you avoid that? What does that look like as far as like staffing, or who you have behind you, that back end to make sure that you on the up and up?
So the last like year and a half is the first year that I've ever really experienced what a team actually was, because I've always done this thing on my own. The good thing about doing things on your own is if you're paying attention, you know what everyone's job is on your team.
Okay.
So when it gets time to have a manager, you know what your manager should be doing because you've been managing yourself for this whole time.
That part.
When you have, so like on my team, the person who's been on my team the longest has been my attorney. And that's because no matter what I do, there's going to be a contract. Even if you sign up for TuneCore and you want to put your music out on TuneCore, the terms of service is your contract. And that is, you know, they're going to tell you what the percentage of that they're taking from your sales and how long you can have this up and what all of these kind of things. You need somebody to decipher that for you. I would say always have an attorney on deck. When you can't deal with all the things happening for you at that moment because there's a lot of things coming at you and you don't necessarily know how to decipher what's a good thing or what's a good gig or what's a bad gig or whatever.
Right.
That's when you find you a manager. And a manager can come in the form of different things. Your manager, if you're a young artist, if you're 17, 18, 19 or whatever, and you just got somebody that really just ride for you and just will do anything for you, like that person might be your manager.
Right.
To just be like, hey, call Mike. And Michael call and he'll, because if that person has your best interest at heart, they can always at least just be like, yo, I got this call from this person and they want to do this song with you or they want to do this show with you, blah, blah, blah. And if they really want to understand the business, they go find other people that know how to do this and kind of piggyback off of them and understand like, oh, okay, well, I learned my management skills from this person. Everybody learned from somebody.
Right.
So, like Puff learned from Russell. Unfortunately, Puff also learned from Russell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But then you have like B. Cox has mentors that he learned from that always took care of him. And Dr. Dre had a mentor that took care of him. And there's, Pharrell had, Teddy Riley that he was under for a long time. You know what I mean? So, management is important when you no longer have any other choice. Or when you just got somebody that just rock with you. Just like, hey man, you're like, damn, I see him with this artist every single time. That must be the manager.
Right.
You know what I mean? What else? I have an agent, a booking agent that makes sure that that my gigs are booked and taken care of.
And you were doing that on your own at one point in time as well too.
I was doing that on my own up until about 4 months ago.
Damn.
Yeah.
How long would you say you've been in the game thus far?
This is my 15th year.
15.
Yeah, I started in 2009. And I've had success. But I know that there are certain things that I probably got kind of locked out of.
Okay. Because
I didn't have an agent or because I didn't, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. Because what people don't understand about big festivals is that everybody on that festival is represented by somebody. Because the festivals don't want to deal with the artist. They want to deal with the agent and the management.
Okay.
They don't want to go straight to you. But then
sometimes it gets to a point where it's facade based then as well too, right? Because there'll be some people who be perpetrating like, okay, he's just gonna be my acting, standing representation.
And that's okay. Because that acting, standing representation, if they doing it right, should probably be your acting, your real representation.
That part.
So a lot of these festivals, these big companies don't necessarily want to deal straight with the artist. And there's a protection that comes with that. Because sometimes the artist values their shit a little bit more than they should.
Yeah. It's your artist.
Yeah. Then there's the personal aspect of, you know what I'm saying? Like you might be asking for $100,000 for a show and it's like, but bro, you doing 200 seaters everywhere you go. So why why would I put you? Why would you headline Coachella again? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like you
make it make sense.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So there's that part of it. And then there's you not necessarily understanding the business well enough to know that the negotiation that you're having, you don't have the range for this. So they're gonna run circles around you in this negotiation if you're not doing it right. On the other end of it, there's these entities that will lowball you all the way. So they think you might be a $20,000 a show artist, and they might say, "Oh, we got $3,500 for you." As an artist, you take that personally. It's like, "Fuck you mean?" But you need somebody to say, you need somebody to ask, "Fuck you mean" for you.
Right.
Because otherwise, it's like, "Oh, Jack Freeman was an asshole. He didn't want to take what we gave him, blah, blah, blah. Like he'll never,"
moving forward.
As opposed to them going to a person that they've worked with before because they had to deal with this artist through them, or they had to deal, and they be like, Jack's not going to do that. Come on now.
Yeah, try again.
Jack did this, and this. Jack's not going to do that. And not only do you know he's not going to do it, I'm not going to let him do it. I'm not even going to let him talk. I'm not even going to let him talk to you about this.
This
shit.
is as far as the conversation is.
Jack is not showing up. Coco is not showing up to your club for less than this. And you have to be able to put your foot. But sometimes the artist shouldn't have to do that all the time.
All the time, yeah. No, I understand.
Because it makes the artist look like a diva, and it puts more on the plate for the artist, and then the artist ends up getting hit with all of these. Oh, Jack was this. Jack
or
was
blackballed.
hard to deal with, and Jack was no. Jack just asked what he asked for, and you didn't want to give it to him.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? So, lawyer for sure, because you really don't need to sign nothing until it's time.
It's time. Agent.
Mm-hmm. Whenever that becomes a need for you. Manager for sure. Mm-hmm. I think you should go with a manager before you go with an agent. I personally think. Brian is my executive producer, but we're also partners. We're business partners in this.
Okay.
So we bust everything down, and then within our company is a general manager who makes sure that like everything is just organized.
Okay.
All of our credits and all of these things are organized so that we can go back and say, all right, so how much did we say we was going to get this person? Okay, bet. Did we pay that already? All right, cool. And there's a lot of other things like a PR you definitely need it, publicists whenever you want to get these great looks, a marketing manager, all of these things are very important, especially when you're doing everything independently, because your label is going to be consistent of an A&R, a GM,
already,
a lawyer, a PR, a marketing guy. You're going to have to talk to all of these different people anyway. So if you're going to do it independently, then it helps to be able to do that. But the thing is that all of that costs money. So piece it together as you move along. You don't have to do everything right now, but it's just like an outfit. Like, you might have bought this jacket today, but you don't have to wear it today.
Right.
You can wait till the pants come in. You can wait till you get the right shoes for it, and then you be like, all right, I'm wearing now. You know what I mean?
You're currently on tour?
Going on tour.
You're going on tour?
Yeah.
To promote the Nina album?
Yes, the tour is called All the Pretty Girls. And this is a tour for, what I'm trying to convey on the show, the music is on the show is that I'm making love songs, and the people that consume these love songs are women, and the women that consume these love songs should have a space where they can enjoy themselves and feel all the things. You can feel as sexy as you want to feel.
They be throwing draws at you? Bras and panties.
When was the last time somebody threw some draws at me? It was probably a long time ago that somebody threw some draws at me.
People still do that.
But it's a safe space for you to be able to do that without being judged if you like. But yeah, it's a small tour, it's an independent tour. So we're gonna be.
How many cities?
We got a few. So it's Atlanta, DC, Durham. We're working on New York and LA. Y'all kind of been, New York and LA, y'all been a thorn in my side. We're working on it. And then, you know, if you're listening to this and you want me to come to your city and you're a promoter, you should probably hit up my agent.
Actually, you know what? Go ahead and drop that because you got a website as well too and all that. Go ahead and drop them handles.
The website is Noir52, NOIR 52.com. That's the name of my company. My Instagram is I am Jack Freeman. My Twitter is Jack Freeman Jr., Jack Freeman Jr. And on that, you can find all the things that have to do with me. But yes, Noir52.com is my company. Something new that I developed. So
I like the name.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's a good time. The reason for it, the reason for the name is that I believe that everything great comes from love. Everything great. Who's your favorite bodybuilder?
Ooh. Honestly, I'm kind of biased. My aunt, William Bonac.
I like
William in the Netherlands.
Yeah, I like William Bonac. He's the thing that makes him great isn't the fact that he gets up and he eats when he needs to eat and he works out.
Never coming back again. I don't want to be in the same regimen ever again. I died.
Yeah.
But I did gain the 20 pounds that I wanted. But now I can't get rid of it. So thanks, Unc.
So the thing that makes him great isn't that. Where it starts is his love for what he does.
Absolutely.
It comes from, I don't feel like working out, but I love what I do and I love winning almost more than I hate losing, right? Your favorite basketball player loved what he did in order to be great at it. Your favorite artist, your favorite musical artist loves being in the studio.
Right.
Everybody that I know that has had immense success in the things that they do love what they do. Even if what you're doing is for the love of your family or for the love of yourself.
Right. It's still love.
Everything great.
Underlying love.
Yeah, everything great comes from that. So what's known as the language of love is French. So Noir is French. There's 52 cards in the deck. My favorite number is 2. When I wanted to play basketball, everybody liked the number 3 because of Allen Iverson and Steve Francis and all that stuff. I like number 5 because I like Cuttino Mobley a lot.
Okay.
It's 52 cards in the deck. And I believe that, numerology, the numbers 5 and 2 mean certain things that, that inspired growth and inspired, change and inspired, discipline and things like that. So Noir 52 is something that I came up with as a company, and there'll probably be other companies that go underneath it as I, do my thing. So Noir 52 is where we at, and I am, like I said, partnership with Brian Michael Cox, illustrating new ideas. And we are going to be doing a lot of really cool things. We got MVP coming out. So on my album, I got a song called MVP. Have you heard the album?
I heard some songs, not the whole album.
You should hear all the songs.
I know. I gravitate to a certain name.
What's your favorite song?
Don't ask me that yet. I have to listen to the whole album first before I can do it.
Okay. All right, cool. So we got a song called MVP.
I actually did hear that, but go ahead.
So MVP is we're putting that out as the next single. We're gonna shoot a video to it. I guess I could tell y'all that the feature on the remix is Bun B.
Just FYI, I've already remixed some of your songs with an piano mix behind it.
Oh, I need to hear these. I absolutely need to hear these so we can put them out.
No. Okay.
Oh man, we gotta put them out. I like piano. We have an Afrobeats record too. which is on this day.
I remember when you was telling me about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would enjoy that. You should hear that.
So wait, when does the tour actually start?
The tour starts in November. The first date right now is November 7th in Atlanta.
Okay.
Which is great because my birthday is November 8th. And November 8th is a Friday. So after
About to be lit.
So November 7th.
Oh wow.
Oh,
we going to
I'm going to the happiest place on earth.
Where's that?
There's a church called the City of Magic.
Oh God. Okay.
That I like to frequent. I'll be
dead.
there for my birthday. So you should go.
Right.
You should go.
I already invited myself. You just didn't hear.
You gotta go. Yeah.
But what is the message that you would like to actually leave our listeners, especially those that are actually inspiring to actually become an artist as well too, whether it be independent, contracted, just a means to start, or they probably started and they just kind of need a little bit more insight on what to do next.
Mm-hmm.
Passionate singers, passionate songwriters, just what would you like to leave our listeners with? Just a gem. Give them a gem.
Figure out what type of artist you want to be and stand on that, because who you want to be is going to be your introduction to everybody. And so what you give them first is what they are going to expect you to be a lot of the times. So if you want to be thugged out gangster rapper or whatever, make sure that that's who you really want to be, because the energy you give out is the energy you're always going to give back. So if you're going to be thugged out, niggas going to want to know how thugged out you are. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be ratchet, you're going to attract ratchet. There's nothing wrong with these things because it's just art, and that's just what and if that's how you want to portray it and that's the story you want to tell, then tell it. But you also got to understand that there's people that are hanging on to these words, and they expect you to be that at all times.
Gotta be authentic.
So if you write love songs, make sure you got some love in your heart, because there are people out there that are going to talk to you about the times when the love song helped them through things that you couldn't imagine. And that's a lot. And when you don't know who you are, it's easier for everyone else to tell you who you are when you get to a certain level. So figure out who you want to be, figure out who you are as a person, because then it helps deter you from the other things that you probably don't want to be involved in if you know who you are. And focus on the work. When things aren't going well for you at the moment, the work that you do is the only constant. You can control your output, how much music you're making, the type of music you're making, the quality of music you're making. You control that.
Right.
You can't control how people feel about it. You can't control the no's that you get on your quest to get there, because you're going to get no's. You can't control the fact that this person wants this much for their services. You just got to either pay them or you got to move along or wait till they do it. You control your output and the work. And when you're good, when you're really, really fucking good at this, nobody can tell you anything about you not being good, because that would just be a lie. So figure that out. And again, lead with love. Everything great comes from love. Everything. So
you put that on a shirt.
Yeah, I think I might do that.
No, real talk, Jack. I felt like an hour was actually going to be good enough for us, but I really feel like you got to come back.
Part 2?
Yes, because I feel like we got a lot more to talk about.
Let's do it. I'm with it.
You heard it here.
Bring me this cognac next time.
Wait, you said don't?
I said bring the cognac.
Oh, yeah, this is my bad.
Yeah.
You got to sponsor us. Okay. Well, Jack, I appreciate you. Seriously. One more time, let them know where they can find you.
Noir52.com. You can get my tour tickets, noir52.com/tour. I am Jack Freeman on Instagram, Jack Freeman JR on Twitter. I am Jack Freeman on TikTok. I don't really use my TikTok that much, but whatever. Follow me anyway. I'm kind of hot, you know. If you use Facebook, I'm Jack Freeman Music on Facebook.
People still use Facebook. As
It-
long as you don't say MySpace, we good.
I should get a MySpace. I need to get a MySpace. Let me holler at Tom. Ain't his name Tom? Yeah, I'm gonna holler at Tom. Give me a MySpace. Give me a Black Planet.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah, you know, get me a what's the other ones? There's a couple of them.
X.
Yeah, X. Mi gente.
Once again, y'all, the Muscle Hustle Podcast. You got the flash sale going on.
OnlyFans.
www. No. .themusclehustlepodcast.com. Thank you, Jack, for coming through.
That's what I'm doing on OnlyFans.
I'm your girl, Cokes, and we're out.